now they're gone. Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain. We can be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. We'll be able to fly. Don't fear the reaper. Dance in the static, let the rhythm collide. A melody of chaos where the echoes reside. A fractured refrain in a ballroom of frost. We're lost in the static, waltzing with the lost. Come on, baby, don't fear. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear. We'll be able to fly. Don't fear. Baby, I'm your man. Love of two is one, and we'll be undone by the passing of you. Here, but now they're gone. Came the last night of sadness, and it was clear she can go on. Don't fear. Dance in the static, let the rhythm collide. A melody of chaos where the echoes reside.
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing today?
Good morning. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, talk about a lot.
There is the basketball court nearby, and they are officially playing, appears to be loud Christmas music already. It's 72 hours before Christmas, and it's 9:45, but it doesn't stop them at, games and
No, that is loud.
performances at 2. No, this is how,
Because all our windows and doors and walls
are
and
sealed, and some of them are sealed with thick plastic.
Wow.
And you can still hear. You guys probably can't hear it. But good morning, and today we shouldn't have to actually go and say this, but we do this for the new people that are watching, and I'm sure there will be a bunch of new people watching today, and we welcome everybody that watches Philippine Antics. And so there are going to be people in here defending Mark Thornton, and there are going to be people in here telling out truths. There are going to be people that have opinions. There's going to be us having opinions. And as always, our live streams have been about discussing the topics that are at hand, and we cover what's actually going on. But at some point, the amount of videos, comments, and extreme or otherwise, we're not going to do a live stream until we said Wednesday, which is Christmas morning for us, Christmas Eve for everybody. But something had to be said, and I can only think of 2, 3, maybe other vloggers that actually put out what's really going on here. To me, the rest of them are sugarcoating it. Okay. And it's something that we've done. Sometimes I get censored by George. Sometimes I get censored by YouTube. I know you love me. It's a love censor. Don't worry about it. This here is my pit bull, George. Show me your smile there, pit bull. It's Christmas. Come on, George. Give me at least I smile on your face. Go on, George.
Can I talk about my puppet?
Oh my God, you guys have no idea how dark George is.
Okay, anyway, I guess I can't talk about my puppet.
No, you can't. We'll save that one for the members. Maybe, I don't know. But that was, George, you're a dark person when it came to this whole situation.
What?
What?
I'm never a dark person.
Okay, so basically, to even see anything, you guys can go through our comments. Okay, our comments show it all. The comments on Geo's channel shows it all. The comments that are left on these other vloggers' channel show it all. And it's like a divide. And I will compare it to the election, where people were once friends, they're divided, where the people that didn't hardly talk to him before the end are saying different things and out to defend and all that. And it's like, why are you on the defense, man? And so, and then of course comes out the dark and the light and all the above. So we're going to get butthurt people in here today, and also be warned in advance that there are a lot of fakesters here. You guys can say we are, you could say the next person is, and an island of misfit toys, just like Rudolph. And it is the truth. And I also want to address the 10 percenters that are fakesters too. Okay. And the 10 percenters that are out there that brag about their wealth and how they do this and how they actually do that, are just that. Okay. If they could have cut it in America, they would have stayed there. So that's just where it is. And they could go on every which way from south and go ahead and say things like, oh, this person is this and this person's that. We said why we were here. No surprise whatsoever. It is cheaper to live here. Yes, it's George's country, but it's expensive there. And so it was an option that we had to come here. And yeah, that's why we're here. Do we all have problems? Sure. Nobody is perfect here. It's the ones that are faking that are. Okay. And so it is an island of misfit, and those who get offended, it's stuck to them. The ones that can only come up with something, okay, that where they say something about George, say something about me because the truths are out there, they can just take a look at themselves right now. Okay. And me, of all people, as an American and somebody with serious health conditions and overweight, which, hello, surprise, that's the only thing that you guys are currently trying to bring up. I can talk about this. Okay. Because quite a few of us are one step away from being Thornton. I'm going to tell you that right now. That is the truth. Or Elliot Eastman. I don't know which is actually going to come up but the medical here is going to be your biggest problem. We've said it over and over again. Medical is a big problem. And what happened in the end? 20 minutes to get to the hospital and X amount of time to go pick him up. And so with a delay like this, it did not help his situation, but he caused some of his own issues, and the hospital was a distance away. And then it's a matter of what medical care you're going to get when you get there. So all of these will be discussed today. We'll probably be going through our comments, other comments, and death is not turn into a popularity contest. I was telling George this morning, for some reason it becomes oh this and oh that, and you guys weren't celebrating his life when he was alive. Which one of you guys went to the hospital? Okay. That is an honest truth. And it's not a popularity thing now to come forward and say, hey, this and that. And the popularity contest thing among vloggers is just getting ridiculous. Okay. Anybody can buy numbers. Anybody can buy their viewers now. It's actually the content, the help. Okay. And at the end of the day, for those that have been talking crap, we are the only ones that have made it to Google. So there's your popularity contest. And I will say that it doesn't matter. Anybody can pick up a camera now, but it's what you actually do with it. So when you all were sitting back in the US or hiding in your house during the pandemic, we helped hundreds come over here, just like old dog did. Did Mark Thornton do it? Yes, as I'm to understand. That's fine. But did that make him popular? Mark did this and that, and so did a bunch of others. When I gave my condolences, it's exactly what I actually meant. Mine goes out to his wife and his son, and that they chose to have a baby, and that they chose to get married, and all these things that they did, and that he wasn't even taking his medication in the end. These are all lessons. These are all things that'll be discussed. So if you're offended, leave. If you guys want to sit here and discuss it and tell everybody, this isn't no wrong or right today on people saying, yes, I like the guy, or no, or things that happened. I will tell you, as of right now, we know a few things. Let me say this before. Do you want me? Well, might as well before we get into the comments. I will let you know as of today, the hospital bill is paid for all you guys that are continuing to send money to Jen or transfer or give it to her in Dumaguete. Okay. That his body has been released from the hospital. Reason being is we were going to advise people to go ahead and pay the hospital direct and not hand off money. So we were in talks with the accountant. We know exactly the amount, but it's now at a zero balance. So could have been his family, could have been a few extra expats. Hey, sweetie. But he has been released. So that's a good thing. And for that reason, I'm going to tell you why we're going to say it. We're going to put up some information about, you can pause that. A few things that are being said out there right now as a lesson, being most of you are intending to be paid as vloggers or that are interested, is that Jen, okay, as of right now, as I'm to understand, allegedly is scrambling to get access to the channel. Now, could Mark have left that in advance and put her email and let her in on the AdSense stuff and PIN numbers for all of his bank account? As I'm to hear from an inside, the answer is no. Okay, so she's actually been left out of a lot of things. That's understandable. He didn't set up a bunch of stuff in advance. So now you have an estate. So if the hospital bill wasn't paid off and people weren't advised to, pay off his hospital bill to help her, then you can go ahead and let this play through, because there's a part in here that talks about the Philippine Act where they can hold his death certificate. This is about the right to the heir and her providing a certificate. Without that, she wouldn't get a final payment. The problem is his money was being paid direct to the U.S. She has no access to that situation unless somebody gives her the actual PIN. And even then, I don't know if legally, wife or not, that she's allowed to get into his bank account when she's not an authorized user. Doesn't that all become a legal issue if he didn't add her as a user and then she just randomly goes and gets the money?
Correct.
Okay. Also, I mean, let's see. Let's go on the side of the death certificate now that that's paid off. She can now use that to move forward to do a few other things. The best on the YouTube channel is, yes, she can take over it if things were left in a provision, but that is still up to Google to do that. So if you guys have a channel and an expat wife and it is in the one person's name, if you want that person to have the channel in the end and access, then you have to make that provision. They make that, but it would only be not what's in the bank and deposited this month for Mark. It's going to be any future stuff that's saved up. And for those of you that were going on about how rich or how much money he was making and that she's just going to be flooded with money on that, an ideal of his legacy of the money that'll be left from his big channel was top $700 a month. I'm going to put that out there. Could be a little bit more, but that was on a good month. People think that with the YouTube that they're making a ton of money. She's not going to be able to really eat off of that. Better than some, worse than others. The money is not in YouTube. He said he did it as a hobby. I understand that situation. And the amount, including when she applies for Social Security, will still be probably an issue for her with the cost of the Philippines going up. What's that?
She'll be fine.
Why is that?
Because Filipinos don't usually live alone.
That is true. That is true. So the true condolences for me go out to her. And the more I heard from people and read comments, it kind of made a little bit more sense that she chose to marry the older man. She chose to have a kid. That's a whole different story. So today we're here just to put out the little bits that we keep hearing. AKA the child was intended for the Social Security check. Now, you all can say that's a rumor. That's several insiders. Okay, could be. But it is a paycheck for some guys. So to have the extra kids, and a lot of people, oh, this can't be, and no, not Mark, and all of that. Okay. If it's just something that needs to be looked at before people have kids and they're not taking care of their health, they don't have insurance, they don't have money to pay the bills. And yes, you guys have nothing on me to know that I'm in the same boat. Okay. Okay. Same boat as Mark, except for I live next to a hospital. If anything, George can get up the, George can just skadoosh me. And this was just contact for the hospital, but it turns out that this was done before the billing department opened up. Here is the hospital. This is Ace. There were several. I'm not sure, I guess that was the nearest hospital for him. But yeah, George just can, like he used to make a joke, he'll just put me in the E-Trike, take me over there and skadoosh right out there to be taken care of. But we're within a few minutes of a hospital. We say when you come to the Philippines, you guys absolutely should be near a hospital if you have any medical conditions. Also, I do take a lot of maintenance meds. I don't sit around and drink. I don't sit around and smoke. I don't take, well, I guess I do take some sort of hormone therapy. I guess that somewhat. No, hormone therapy is totally different than steroids.
No, it's not the same thing.
Okay, either way, there's a lot of things that these expats, just not Mark, or actually have done, and him stopping maintenance medicine or daily blood pressure, all that. So, anyways, that's just a startup, okay, of what's going on. But Jen has a long road. Now, there are two things that I want to correct, as we've corrected before. One, supposedly, okay, it's only out there also that yes, the baby did get the final resting. Like they went in and got him registered. I heard there was a delay, but it looks like he went back in. So supposedly the baby is fully registered as a U.S. citizen. So that will help her quite a bit. It's still a road to apply for his Social Security. And so there is that point, and trying to think of the other one. I'll think about it. But as I'm to understand, the court hearing will go on of the legal issues that he had. That I'm going to put out also today. So I figured, hey, what the heck? Everybody else is putting something out.
So
So
assuming
looks
that the
like
child, of course, is legible again, registered and everything else, will Jen get the money now?
the Social Security
Mhm.
with a long process.
Well, yeah. I mean, once processed, she'll get it. Right?
Correct. Let me tell you the deal. So I guess Mark had found out, he thought that when he turned 72 and he gets a little bit of a higher amount, he's at a very low end of a Social Security amount. I'll tell you that right now. Not by one source, by 4 different sources. He had already told people. So per his own word of how much Social Security he's getting, it was under $700 a month. Okay. And he will not, he thought he was going to get half of his full retirement Social Security, whether it was 1,000, 1,200, but it turns out he'll get half of that. So he's looking at a couple hundred US, maybe $400 a month. Somebody said it was 70%. Maybe it is, but then other people said it was 50. I did not get to that this morning. But Mark did not have 17, 18, 2,200, 2,300. It must have been, as they said, his first wife was the working person. I guess maybe he was a 1099, or actually, was on the cruise ship. It was based on sales. Whatever was going on, his income had caused his low check. So I guess that's where it is. So the check will not be as big as they actually thought, and it's not going to be based on his 72, whatever that's supposed to be. It will
Well,
be
it's still a good cushion.
300 or 400 a month, I guess.
Still a good cushion.
George,
than zero.
right? But the prices have gone up here in the Philippines. If she'd have got 8 or
I understand
900, that might
but
have been
there's a
okay.
ton of pump and dump babies out there. So
Don't get me going on the
I'm
wet
saying
side.
Mark didn't abandon, so therefore, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but the deal that's out there that he could
Rogan's
have.
still in a better shape than most of these.
Oh, that's true. You guys haven't been down the Abacan Bridge and see a bunch of the Americans. So.
Americans, even though they're not all American babies,
No,
but
they're not. But,
Americans is the Filipino term for.
so we just call them expirations.
That doesn't sound right. Again, I'm not the one who makes up these. This
You can't
verbiage.
stop this train. You
well,
can't
well, I'm
stop.
saying I didn't make up the word American. It's
No, I'm going to call them expirations
it's a
now.
term that they coined here. Filipinos love to create words, but anyway.
And if I shouldn't have to mention, if you guys are butthurt at this point, I suggest you leave because it ain't going to get
Well, that's another
any
thing. You
clearer.
shouldn't be, because for the most part, you know, people
It's-
have a tendency to, for example, Heidi made that last video. Somehow they think it's an attack on Mark. It's not. It's an attack on the ones that pretend to like Mark
And
and
we'll
make
be
these
going
videos.
through the comments, and it's not
Right.
like I said, it's not a competition thing to say, hey, they hate Mark or they hated Elliot Eastman, and oh my God, the morbid jokes they made and all that. This has been our channel. We've been around. We're one of the original crew, and I can just about sit in battle with anybody on air about what they've done with their channel, what they've done this, what they've done that. And at the end of the day, I am going to throw in their face about Google, because evidently, regardless or irregardless or whatever, that it's just going to be said. Yes, we're going to put content out, because I told George from now on, it doesn't matter. I just heard on YouTube they said that now that with everybody vlogging, it gives everybody a chance to be the next news this and news that, or the things that people put out. And we have used our channel to help people. And also, this is a way of helping. So if you want to say that it's all tearing them down and we're only trying to throw them in the ground, no. I will tell you that the things that I'm saying is lessons or things that you guys need to prepare. But a lot of you all, as always, welcome to the new ones, welcome to the old. You're here to either see failure, or that you like the man, or you disliked, or to get offended, or whatever. I it's just the way it's going to be, okay? Because a lot of you don't even like us. Some of you are trollish and just watching. Some of you, we have our core fans and all that. Every day we're going to bring in new people, as we have.
Some of are new and welcome.
And
yes, there's.
It's yeah, he heard that. And so it's just where it's going to be. We're not here. That's another thing. I'm going to get into the whole thing about how the Dumaguete vloggers and the YouTube vloggers in Angel City was how much?
8,000.
Well, it couldn't have been 8,000. Crazy. Things like what I was hearing, sadly, is how all the new vloggers are flooding. Gio was right. They're how they're flooding Dumaguete, okay? And that when they arrive, they're expecting to meet all these vloggers, and that that they want to meet up with them to do the interviews or to sit down with them. And that's another thing. Mark did the interviews, and most of those guys that came, probably 8 out of 10 of them were already vloggers. They had channels. Oh, thank God they stopped the music. Oh, what's?
I know this is off topic, but here's the electric bill.
Oh boy. Oh geez, that's high.
She's being sarcastic.
I'm being sarcastic. Yeah. So the electric bill was 4,900 pesos. So that's not bad.
That's
a lot to a
nonstop
Filipino.
AC.
That's that's
full
nonstop
floor.
AC and the live streams and everything. So that's good. So that is true. So the people he brought in mostly right before he passed on were people with channels. And as I'm to understand, if you guys don't know, the last few want their videos removed because of the confrontations and problems Mark had. So there are people that come to the Philippines that's what they want to do. They think they can meet up with people like the P and Mark and other people, including us, and we do meet up with people. And that it's just an overwhelming amount of vloggers now. So the whole point is the game has changed. Okay. And I'm gonna leave that comment out. So, but we will go from here.
Well, it's kind of like
Trolls and goals.
I mean,
that's what we.
if you're a vlogger in Dumaguete, I wouldn't announce you're a vlogger. Remember that old saying? You know, I get no respect.
That's
No
just it,
respect.
and that's what's going on. Is Geo, if he has to say that, we've noticed that a long time ago, that it's like there was only so many of the original vloggers walking around with cameras when it was just Brian down on Walking Street and a few other guys, and now there's a range of them from all over, the world, and they come in and vlog, and everybody has everybody has the right. This is a free country. What it isn't, okay, is that, well, I'm gonna leave that out there. I was gonna go
It's
into
kind of
the
like this.
freedom of
When we started vlogging, when we say we're vloggers, because we have the camera, we have the beast, so it's not down here. We have a big giant camera, and then they would give us like, oh, here's free cake, compliments of the manager. Oh, here's free drinks, compliments of the manager. Now we
over
say
4 years ago.
we're vloggers, and we're like,
No, what they want to know is how many subscribers you have when they're the
Yeah.
owner of a restaurant, and the subscribers aren't exactly what counts either. So, but anyways, so the whole thing is that we'll probably go through some of the comments. And the truth is that the guys and women that are coming here to the Philippines, it is like island of misfits. And I've called people out for years and like, well, that's you, Heidi. I said, yeah, I'm not denying it. So if you're butthurt about the statement of an island of misfits, evidently, and there's a lot of people that haven't even been here. Based on their comments, we knew that they had not even been here. What's wrong? I'm barking. At least he's barking. Yeah, Willie had like a chest cold and he was on antibiotics.
yeah, he's
for
been
like
sick
a week.
for a while. That's what we get for letting him loose.
No, yeah, that was horrible. He got in the field
Never
across
again.
the street, got the burrs. Plus his
Never
fur
again.
coat was super long. So when he coughed up hairballs and everything. But he's better now. That's good to hear him bark. That's good because he needs to get.
It's a sign of health, yes.
Sounds kind of weak out there, but anyways, yeah. So at least I admit there's problems, and that some guys come here because they got divorced, and how things are bad in the dating world in the US, and I agree on a lot of that, and how financially it's expensive, and some of the guys are mentally broken down. Mark admitted to all that, and I don't know why people are getting so offended when they hear the stuff that Mark had done in the past. And it's like, okay, but he put all that stuff out. So all this stuff has been put out, from Mark, and information that's in the public. So, but anyways, we'll start into the comments. And this will be interesting.
What is that? Yeah, what is that? Whenever you do that, I get reminded of the.
No, that's that. No, that's Star Trek, George. That's Star Trek when they were battling. That was when him and Captain Kirk.
Magic. No, it's the knife fight. I'm aware. Yes, I'm aware.
I think the caffeine's kicking in. Maybe even the steroids.
Oh, smash. Oh.
Actually, I've become nicer. Except for the only difference now is I got some new words.
That's what they told Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
MB. Hello, Philippine Antic Squad. I'll have to watch the rerun after the game tonight.
And if you guys don't know by the title why possibly we named that, now that I'm looking at the thumbnail, It's a Wonderful Life, because I've seen over and over again where people said, hey, what is going on, sunshine?
Hey, Calvin, how you doing, man? Merry Christmas, Calvin.
Merry Christmas. And if I had to choose a few people that are keeping it real, it would be original person that I took to
There
like
you
a
go.
magnet was asking.
One of the originals.
In
OG.
Florida, I said,
OG.
I like this man. I'm telling you, it's him. And a lot of people will disagree, but I think 100% is Paul. Old dog, new tricks. He puts the information out. He doesn't care what people think about him or how they respond. He doesn't let people get to them, and he isn't going to be pressured into these condolences. Okay. What about Jules? And I'm getting choked up. Jules in the Philippines. Nobody went on about that. It was all about a popularity contest of putting stuff out.
Yeah, remember Jules, guys? I mean, some of you probably don't even know who he is.
Well, and nobody put anything out about him. Yes, we gave our condolences and everything. Okay. But I'm trying to bring around a point of what's really going on. Okay. Guys need to wake up before they come here. You know, I've been dealing with these things for 4 years, like doing medical, getting this done, how slow bureaucracy is here. And you deal with these things and you deal with these things. It takes the patience of a saint. You got to deal with immigration, and medical is going to get you every time. Even the 10%ers that are sitting out there stirring in their seat right now, okay, are still your savings can be wiped out with 1 or 2 trips to the hospital. There are people that have had substantial amounts of money. Really honestly, there's a plan. I say you have plan A, B, and C, but you really just can't. You just can't. So then you have homeless people, and then you have people that have to return back to the US, and some, sadly, here lately, quite a few of them in the last few months just pass away alone in their, condos, or just, it is really sad. But it's been there's actually, I think there were 3 vloggers that passed away here recently.
Yeah, I know that. But it is a time of year that kind of happens. Usually it's
I thought he had
common-
more time.
common cause is heart attacks and stroke. I mean, it really is during these times. November, December, that's usually when,
Yep. And one thing isn't going to save you. I get it. But, I keep bringing up my health because nobody knows the full deal. George does. A few other people know. But here's the deal. I don't sit around smoking and drinking. I don't sit around, hey, there's the man himself, Michael Onstad. It's been crazy the last few days. Guys, as we always discuss, Michael Onstad does the insurance.
Yeah.
And he is definitely could get you into an insurance policy. That's why I said you got to have plan A, B, and C, including ticket money to head to Guam or to head to the US. But he will get you patched up, healthy enough to get on that airplane worth of insurance, providing that you're insurable. Okay.
Yeah.
So
for all
there
your
is
insurance needs, go to Michael Onstad.
like a good neighbor.
Onstad is there.
Onstad is there.
There you go.
There it is. So
Bum, bum,
he's a good
bum,
person.
Michael
We do talk to him.
Onstad.
That's pretty good. No, he is a good person. So he does do meetups with people. But yes, it's like the guys have like these. They drink, they smoke, and they will sit around and say, "Hey, Heidi's fat," And it's like, dude, that's what you got right now. Okay, I'm also broke. You could throw that in there. The problem is they drink, they smoke, they have. There's nothing wrong with unlimited sex. Nothing wrong with that. But Sunshine's put that out there. Are you healthy enough to do all that? You taking that hormone therapy and you're taking the blue pill, or just based on you just an absolute stud? Good for you. But you do realize that even if everything's in working order, it's still something after a certain age that could still cause a stroke and still cause a heart attack. Can I consult for 1 minute? Oh, hold on. I want to ask you something real quick. Well, I was just saying whether I wanted to say he could have died on top, or he could have had his stroke on top, whether it's the expats. That could like cause people to be wiped out and stuff,
Honestly, that's the way I would want to go. Just saying.
That's exactly how you said this morning.
Yep.
Right out, you got out of the shower. So,
I mean, just ask David Carey, and I'm pretty sure that's how he went.
well, the whole thing is there are so many different things going on. Yes, you need to change diet. Yes, you need to, like Paul had quit smoking. And then you have the drinking. You guys have to start somewhere and just be self-aware of what's really going on, okay? And as I'm to understand, there was little to no self-awareness going on with Mark. He didn't stop the brakes on having the kid. He thought of it as a check. And I have to say, allegedly, as I'm to understand, that's the pretty good reason at that point. Plus, Jen wanted the baby, which put her. The other thing is that he was advised several times by people that have contacted us a full list of things. He needed to do this, he needed to do that. And he just got under the wire with registering the baby.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't think he's not self-aware. I think, okay, not digging at
Maybe I'm
Mark,
saying
but what I'm saying is,
he was.
I think he is aware of his current life and his situation and where his health is headed to. But I think he was in denial.
Okay.
The reason why I say
Yeah,
that is because
that would make
he
sense.
did take steps, aka registered the baby and all
So
that.
yeah, it's kind of like me.
He
I
did say
know,
this.
I know that I'm
Yeah,
sick. I
don't
know
do
that I'm
this
overweight.
videos,
I
that
cut
kind of
back on
deal.
this and that. I'm aware, but it's kind of
Right.
like you just don't.
It's
fully
kind of
take
like,
those
yeah,
steps.
I'm sure I'll be fine, kind of deal.
Yeah, because
Everybody gets that. Everybody gets that. Oh my gosh, I got to take my pills every day. And then next thing you know, a couple weeks later, you're like, yeah, I'll be fine. I think he was in that phase.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, because I keep throwing myself under the bus, and there's nothing wrong with it because everything that happened to him, we're actually faced with right now. Most of the expats, because I talk about the 10 percenters that did well. They got houses everywhere. They got them back in the US. They got big savings accounts and all of that. But that's not everybody. Is it even really 10%? That could be a correct number.
Well, and remember, guys, again, on a personal note, again, I've been in a couple funerals recently, and again, it's because of lack of usage of maintenance pills. So I implore you, please take your maintenance pills.
And at least go see the doctors. The basic doctors here are cheap, even the specialists to sit down with. That's what I do is basic. I go twice a month. I take my medicine, okay, and it's not exactly an ideal when I have my donuts or pizza, but I don't sit around doing it all the time. I'd like to do it all the time. If we just like to sit up here and eat junk food 24/7.
Actually, that's
and ice cream for
that's
lunch.
somewhat like a not that's a, what do you call that? What we would say, lesser evil. Not taking your maintenance pills is a bigger sin than eating a donut. You know what I'm saying? Because not taking your maintenance pill is guaranteed to lead you to, blip.
Or living a far distance
versus
or living a far distance, knowing that you not only had mental problems and those type of things, and taking certain medications. I have to mention that, along with, what do you have, a double bypass, triple? Okay, I'm just trying to get an idea.
He had a double. I think he had a double.
Okay, so when you have that type of situation, and he knew how bad off he was, he admitted 1 or 2 years ago that he was in the hospital for some of the problems. Medication for that is really fairly inexpensive. Even if he had to go on a blood thinner, which some of them can be up there in cost, he must have really been a baby. Just
aspirin.
No, the baby himself would have cost X amount of money. So if he financially was already in that pinch, I don't understand why he had a baby with his health problems, and unless he really was thinking the check was going to be his godsend for her and the kid. Literally godsend.
I mean, that's
more like a swim.
No, I mean, maybe he just wanted a little bundle of joy,
Yeah, maybe all those comments about his little bundle of joy, and it was a Filipino thing to do, and that's exactly, could be, yeah.
Well, no, okay.
Culturally, he was doing
Is
that
it a
for her,
Filipino
but
thing to do? Incorrect. It's a woman thing, family thing to do. Period. I mean, it has nothing to do with Filipinos or Chinese or American or British. Every woman at a certain age wants a baby, or there's 2 stages where a woman wants a baby. During the time when she's most prime, they have that yearning.
Oh yeah.
Or the time right before they lose it, as far as be able to create babies. So
Right,
they
but
have those two.
so you think that was Jen's only intention with the 67-year-old man that
Well,
she married, that's all she thought about was, "That's it, I'm madly in love with Mark. I'm marrying him because I'm
well,
madly in love,
she can be
and there
madly
is
in
no
love,
benefits, and
but
there'd be no benefits of having the baby that wasn't discussed with her, with him. None of that's a possibility. Never went through his head.
well,
Never was discussed."
what I'm saying is I get the love part. There, I'm not denying that, but what I'm saying is there's a certain time at a woman's age, regardless of love
No.
or lack of love, they want to have a kid.
Yeah, no, that's
Doesn't even
understandable.
have to be with the person that they had a kid with.
But she could have just married a Filipino that had jobs. There's plenty of guys over there that have good jobs.
No, I get it. I get it. I'm just saying it could be.
It's hard saying.
I'm just responding to the question of again that he had the baby for X reason. There's several reasons to have a kid.
Gotta love those rumor mills.
That's what I'm saying. There's several reasons to have a kid,
The chismas.
not just one, not just
I call
two.
it cheesemas.
Yeah.
So yeah. So interesting. So, but the sad part in the end is the amount. I mean, yes, it's better than no money, and yeah, who knows? Who knows? I just thought I would say a few things through the rumor mill just based on my jealousy of Mark. I was madly in love with Mark. I'm just
Probably,
devastated.
probably.
And I'm just so,
You watch enough of him.
yeah, I do. I like Mark.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, there's a fly on his glasses.
You were the one talking about the puppet thing this morning. I wish you can demonstrate that.
So anyway, the puppet thing.
No, no, you're not.
I
You
guess
guys
I
think
can't.
I'm dark.
I guess I can. Private
Okay.
show, folks. Private show.
Dun, dun,
And
dun,
that-
dun, 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 dun,
I guess it's
dun.
magic time.
I
Alright.
guess it was too soon to. Oh, never mind. It's never too soon.
Never too soon, never too late.
No.
Hey, chosen one. Oh, wait, what? You're back in Thailand.
Oh, chosen one.
Chosen one is back in Thailand.
Chosen one said he was offended in our comment section. He said that us assuming that somebody will sweep Jen off of her feet and that they would be all interested and all that was just an offense to men or something.
To
Because a lot of,
expats.
yeah,
I
or
quote,
to men, yeah.
you do not give us expats credit.
No, I don't.
No, well,
You know how many guys line up when these women divorce or they're after Maya now sending money, and how many come over to hook up with these almost divorcees and set them up in advance with monthly payments? They arrive and then boom, they're not going to quit and start seeing you when they're getting monthly payments from 3 or 4 guys. But I don't understand. I don't get it. I
well,
just don't.
there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just, to me, it's odd behavior. To me,
Yeah, they're waiting in the wings and
it's
stuff.
like
So
me going to a funeral and then, hey, what are you doing later? You know what I'm saying? You know, dude. I mean, come on. You know,
yeah, I
that's
mean,
what
I don't
I'm
think
saying.
that she's not pretty
Is
enough.
it
I
wrong
think
if you actually
she's.
analyze it? No, not really, but it's just odd behavior, or the etiquette is kind of off.
That would be like me.
Okay, remember
Hey,
etiquette.
George, Geo is single. You know what? Geo is single.
Okay,
Let me go over there and hang out. And, I'm going to start sending a couple hundred a month to Geo and start talking with Geo and all that.
well,
He's the only guy there
for
is
example,
over there.
that's a good example. For example, you're married and you send a single guy money and chat with him. Technically, there's nothing wrong with that. Technically, there isn't wrong.
I'm talking about
anything with that.
being single.
But is
and
it
still
a little
doing it.
off? Yeah, it's a little off because
I don't know.
you know what I mean. There's nothing wrong
Hey,
up
Geo.
until something's wrong.
Hey, Geo. Oh, jingle bells. Jingle bell.
Yeah, but I just
Jingle
disagree again. Like
all the way.
if her husband or
Geo likes to ride that
yeah,
moped.
I mean if a person's partner pass away, give
hear
him
me?
space, let him breathe.
I'm gonna tell you right now,
know-
Gio wants to ride this moped, but he ain't gonna tell his friends.
Thank
he's
you.
gonna
Come
ride.
again.
He's gonna ride this moped all day and not tell you guys. He's gonna
Oh,
say he's
Jesus
driving that
Christ.
Mercedes. Okay, but we know the truth. Be jingling them bells all the way to New Year's. No. This is my man right here. Actually,
following
Alright.
us. All right. Yeah. Hold on. Let me go back to the. Hold on. Oh.
Yeah, so we'll be going
Hold on.
through the.
Yeah, I'll be going through the comments, but I'm gonna have to blow through this because it's So we're just gonna say hi. Hey, Slick Rick.
I'll start with some at the
Scott's
bottom
World.
too.
Joseph Keffart.
Hey Scott, how did you get held?
What?
Just kidding.
You can't. He's a moderator.
No, I'm talking about he's being held on the airplane. It's a joke.
Oh.
No, I know.
Oh wait. He is a moderator. Maybe.
Oh, and by the way, I want to let you guys know, for those that are in here fully blowing up and talking about size and what's evident, you got nothing. Next. Okay. Somebody they're talking about, you guys are leeches just as bad as the rest. Yeah, we're the leeches that made it to
Not
Google.
really. We're not.
We're the leeches that have been here among probably 85% of them longer than others. Next. Okay. That's somebody butt hurt. We never name call. We never said anything in any manner about anybody that we've actually covered.
Well, most of the time they just, look at a thumbnail and just make prejudgments. Again.
No, they do. They don't even watch.
Yeah,
so,
guys, Scott is
thank you for
actually in
coming.
an airplane right now. He's actually on the way, not here in the Philippines. He will be here in the Philippines. He's gonna have some sightseeing tours in Hong Kong first, and then end up in the Philippines.
Don't forget to bring me something, man.
He's already flying. I guess we can get
No.
you something from Hong Kong.
No. I wanted something from Miami or something from Disney.
What do you mean? He's already flying. He's already on his flight to Hong Kong. As we speak, he's actually on Wi-Fi right now. He's actually on the chat right now, guys, on the Wi-Fi on the airplane.
Baby girl go.
Jose Rodriguez. Hey guys, happy
What
holidays.
is going on?
There you go. Just wishing to be with my Pinay girlfriend. There you go.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Alan
but
Johnson, good morning to you too.
People need to be realistic on. I love the ones that open channels and deny everything. Oh well, I had all the money to take care of things, or when they're broke, or the ones that come on and say, oh, I could have had anybody I wanted in the United States, and my relationship was fine. It was her, and they go through all this stuff trying to show how things were this, and that, and it's like, again, next. But there's all kinds of things going on. But
Learn to live. Good evening. Hope everyone is well. Second win. Good morning. Hey Tony Manning, how you doing? Not necessarily, Bobby. It's a good crowd. Again, Bobby says, why is everyone dumping on Mark? Help me understand, please. I always watched him and his guests and thought he was a very nice and sincere man who helped fellow Americans in the film. It's like politics. You know how some people hate this particular politician and love the other politician? Same thing.
Let's add more to it, okay? Because I'm just going to add to what's going on. I'm not going to say everybody didn't like Mark in that town, but even Filipinos did not like Mark in that town. His stay, he was wearing out the welcome mat. And even that brother-in-law that a bunch of people covered during that Dumaguete Ground Zero fight and all this legal stuff is not even talking to him right now, or was before he passed on. So the whole thing is Mark had his own set of issues. He burned a bunch of vloggers that he interviewed, and there was a lot of different things allegedly going on with him. And I'm just going to cover this in advance. I'm not going to keep saying alleged. This is just stuff that's on the street, or people that knew him down at Ground Zero or all over the place. So just clearing that out. I'm not going to keep saying alleged all the time. That his reputation was totally burned before the Dumaguete fight and way after. He did some people dirty. Okay.
Allegedly.
Oh, you can say allegedly. I just said that, but it's the things and how he was there. And was he a good father to Rogan? We can't deny that, according to the way he was saying things were good and the way Jen's acting, but nobody ever knows. There's two sides, the third side, a fourth side. Remember, this is what I've been trying to say, the full appearance that life, it was totally good. Hint, Hex, the actual title. It's a Wonderful Life. According to him, everything was perfect. Them are the first people I don't believe when they say that. oh, the house is perfect, my wife is perfect, my son is perfect. It's not because he was a positive guy. Come on, we know how he ended up coming here and what, all the things that had happened to him. He wasn't exactly all the time. He put out his own drama videos, okay? There's a whole world Zoom thing. I mean, can I go on and on? That's what I mean. It was not a wonderful life 100% for that man. Going on about his son, how he was going to buy a car to drive him around in the yard and that he'll be swimming in the beach when he gets older. He was going to live there forever in the attic of that house. Are you dreaming there, babe?
No,
I mean, it's a nice painted dream, and that's what people do. Sorry if I'm a dream crusher right now.
It's not that. What he would. It's okay. What he wished, or rather, what we all
The
wish,
reality.
is different from reality. We all have these beautiful painted canvases in our mind that we want to do, and there's nothing wrong
And
with
that's
that.
the way people are leaving their comments. So, in other words, there are people that knew him. There are people that have watched all of his different videos. Like we cover topics on one thing or another, or we may go on how we like to watch in Living Color and Saturday Night Live, and may like Donald Trump. Therefore, half the people just dropped out. One point they liked us, and now they're talking smack, or they love us and they used to hate us. You guys are going to love us and hate us. It's kind of the same thing with him. That's why I called out the fakeness and with all the health conditions and all the comments. And I'm talking about comments, everything. The vloggers that put it out, some of the stuff he put out. I'm just putting everything out. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Good afternoon.
Bah humbug.
You did
So-
tell me good afternoon yesterday, by the way.
Oh, is that why you got offended when I gave you your bacon sandwich?
Yes,
Okay, sorry.
I got offended. You did say good afternoon.
Oh, did I?
Mhm.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Anyway,
and I'm taking your
good
mask.
afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
So that's where I see it, because if there is time in this today, I'm probably going to go through some of our comments, okay? And I will tell you that it is a big thing of that, condolences, and they go out, and that's true. A lot of people said I was fake for saying condolences. It's limited for me. There's a lot of people that die here. Should I go to every freaking funeral, or do you guys think we're going to every freaking funeral? And that, sorry, it just doesn't work like that. I'm realistic. Call it negativity, call it that I'm just this and that nasty American. I've heard just about everything. Next. Yeah.
Anyway, George, hey y'all. Always me says rest in peace, Mark.
Yeah, I mean,
Long life. Hey everyone, happy holidays.
yeah, it's with heavy heart that another man didn't take care of him. So when I said that, we meant that in the condolence thing. He should have took care of business.
Chosen
Period.
says I represent Angeles City. I don't associate myself with the Dumaguete crew.
Nah, I'm gonna do whatever I got to do to
Yeah, George says
I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get clicks.
there you go. Don't suck on her, suck on him. Okay.
Actually, let me see. It was sweeter coming from this.
Ta-da.
Ta-da! Where's our ta-da?
Where's our
at?
ta-da?
I don't know. Where is our
yeah.
ta-da?
But yes, George is correct. If you get really sick, it can cost you a lot of money. So
It will. I'm sorry. Even if somebody asked me the other day, and I hated to even say how much.
What? Seriously?
Okay. Let me let you know what that is. That's the nail clippers for the dog and her comb. And that was in town 2 days ago. So he brought an item that was an import earlier, and now he's bringing you something that was here.
What? No.
What's that? Oh, is today is Monday, isn't it?
Huh? What?
Yeah, we're off on the live streams. So, anyways, guys, I forgot where I was. Lazada again. So it isn't a drop of the item. That's another thing. We got another water system, and the unit, no matter how much we cleaned it, tastes like plastic. It had like scratches on the inside. I don't know if it was something in the filters or something. And it was like $100 system, like for one that doesn't attach to the sink, because we wanted additional clean water. for the dogs and like for cooking, and it was just horrible. So we had to actually return it. But we recommend the sink filters either with 2 or 3, or there's a 5 system. I was just telling about the water. So careful. Oh, there's your buddy right there.
Ta-da. That's not ta-da. That's not ta-da. That's
see how
not
she-
ta-da.
What's going on? Let me see. Let me see. Oh, got your Lakers jersey on. Here, give Dad a kiss.
No.
Give Moppet a
Imperial
kiss.
Shih Tzu.
Aw, look at that, Dad. You know who doesn't care and who says next? This one. Unconditional, I don't care.
Bobby James says,
She ain't
just
sweating
seemed kind of like a
stuff.
really great guy. Kind of shocking, some of the remarks, especially since he passed.
I don't know. And that's just it, is that it's kind of like me. If I pass away tomorrow, no surprise, you guys are going to have the same situation. Except you guys are going to say, you guys see me say this stuff and then that stuff. And then it's going to be the same wonders. Like, well, what about all the good videos that I put out? Same with Mark. He had the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's the way it is. And nobody's going to care in the end when you die. Next. Not you. I'm just saying next to everybody. Because it's true, George. There were the videos, the help videos. There's the ones where we covered everything. There were the things that, and then in the end, they're going to say, well, Heidi is nasty. She deserved it. Well, you have those people that know the things about Mark and how he lived in town, among other vloggers. And then you have the ones where he did good videos. That is fine. You know, he was a book writer. He sold art. He was a father. I agree. But please take a number and get a lesson.
Well, and like we said, Page Expat Pepper, you can make a third person on an account manager for YouTube channel,
You
but
can
I do
add
not
quite a few.
believe the same works for AdSense. That's why we're saying he didn't do.
No, actually, you can. You can. He could have added her in as a person. Okay, you can. It's kind of like when people do the advertisement. You can add 10,000 channels into somebody, and you can make them admin. Okay, and as the admin, yes, she could have signed in with her own password and controlled and redirected the check and added stuff to a new bank account.
That's what I was saying. He didn't go those steps.
And so,
which again, there's nothing wrong with him not
there is
doing
a
that
way,
extra steps
yeah,
either.
there's a way that he could have switched. I mean, in the end, I am happy to hear for her. That's why I put that stuff up earlier. It was only after we created that video to know that his body was released very, very recently and that the bill was paid. Because I was going to tell you, unlike anybody that put out this fake stuff, that there is a way to help her. And people will go to help her. If you guys want to help Jen, we're not collecting. There's few others that are collecting in that area. But you guys probably, if you go and leave your email and information for all those that care, you can go on over there and actually leave your email in Mark's comments. Go to Facebook. She's definitely monitoring that one.
Yes, for sure.
So she's probably even watching. So I don't know. I mean, I do know, but I mean, if I was her, I probably wouldn't. So, but the just contact her through there. She is watching and reading, guys. So leave the messages. She's going to sit around and look at the good and the bad and mope about it and be mad. And she can sit around and, you know, whatever she actually does, that's fine. But her life with Mark was probably a lot different than what you guys are saying. So she's already not living in that house. So her life is starting to go on already. You want to send her money, leave your email and get with her and see about how you can send her money to pay for her personal life, because his bill has already been paid. Now, whether it's from them other YouTubers that claim they were going to help them, them 10%ers, and whether it's just people that have been helping, whether it's his mom, the family, the uncle, the brothers, or whatever it actually is, then it's good that that's been done. Now she'll get the death certificate. Now that will take time. Without that death certificate, that money's just going to accumulate and keep being sent to the United States into his bank account where he left everything. So that's going to go on for a while, because I'm going to tell you what, it will not work. The system here will not work very fast.
Well,
it'll take
even
2 months.
Well,
You
not
get a
to.
birth certificate, 3,
Well,
or
even
or death certificate, not birth. The death certificate,
well,
as
it's
far as I know.
probably a couple weeks from now.
Okay, so when she gets that, then she can start filing things. So, including Social Security, like
Well,
applying for the additional benefits if she hasn't already. But there's still an adjustment with him being gone.
well, not to mention, I believe they go through the next cycle. What I'm saying is, even let's say, unless she gets it through the U.S. paperwork to the U.S. submitted before
Well,
the
it's the embassy.
well, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is forget the embassy. I'm talking about the actual process, the system. It's still not going to go in until the next cycle of the release
Yeah,
of the
that's
funds.
true.
So what I'm
But
saying
at
is,
least
in
that's
all
done. That's the
probability, it's
because
probably
they
not till
didn't have
February
to.
before she can get a hold of the money if everything was done. That's what I was getting at.
If she didn't, if she didn't, or somebody didn't pay the bill, she could have done a promissory note, but every hospital in the Philippines is going to be different. So just take note that if the bill is not paid, no death certificate is supposed to be issued in the Philippines. That was what I put up on the screen, and that was recent. So but they said that there are side rules. You can go get an attorney, but in the end, they're going to tell you have to sign something making a promise of payment. So you've got to make that arrangement that's legally binding. Then you'll get the stuff. So, uh,
Hey, Bruce. Hi, Heidi and George. Everyone, good
hey, Bruce.
morning.
Tony.
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 Oh, Tony Manning. Our Philippine journey. Good morning, all. Tony Manning says she can get married again now that she's got the death certificate.
And I bet she does. A lot of people got offended that I said she would move on. Of course she is. You really think, one, she's not going to take up the next expat like she took up Mark and her sister took up that other guy? I call him the Beanie Baby Bunch.
Impish Little Center. Now, keep in mind, this is actually true. Um, YouTube seems to push younger creators by the algorithm. They seem to get
Okay.
big on YouTube
Yeah,
in
go
no
ahead.
time with millions of subscribers, or at least 100,000 subscribers. Now,
Yeah.
here's the reality of things. Okay. Now, because remember, me and Heidi are in probably, I don't know how old you are, so I'm guessing we're all in the same group here as far as age wise. Remember, we're, as most of us would call, over the hill. We're not the prime paying people anymore. They expect us, I mean, again, they expect us to croak anytime soon. No offense to anybody. The reality is, they'd be like, oh, the target audience again is between
Which
20,
still adds us in that special
20 and
category.
35. That's when people are spending money. People at our age, even let's say we are alive, we probably don't spend as much as the younger crew.
Mm-hmm.
So of course they're gonna push the younger crowd.
Yep.
I mean, I'm just saying. That's why if you watch
It
Netflix,
is.
YouTube,
But the game is changing.
Amazon,
I mean,
you'll see younger shows.
I would like to go on about why that really is, but I'm not giving YouTube listens today. So there's a reason, in my opinion, that's going on for sure. So it's a pay to play game right now. So
Okay, so TJ Riley says I saw an old video of his and said he was getting 700, and Alan says I remember Mark saying when he first got it on Social Security it was 600.
yeah, so I was about right, 6 or 7, but he's not getting the average 14, 15, 18 that people are getting. It's because his last quarters were low. So, and that's why. So, with his YouTube, he wasn't even pushing the average Social Security here. And a lot of people think there was a lot of money going around in YouTube. He didn't have that kind of money coming in, even on good months. It depends on where the viewers are and how long they watch. And YouTube is paid even less. A few years ago, they were paying almost double the amount. It's dropped in half as of about, what, a year ago, year and a half ago? I forgot about how long it's been. So unfortunately, it just wasn't, a future. So even if Jen gets hold of the account in a few months or finds a way, I don't think she's going to be able to withdraw any of that money that's in the account in the US. I don't think, the bank over there is just going to say, "Hey, let me forward that on to her." It may take the brother to go in with documents. I don't know. I think it's going to be a hot mess on what's going to happen in the end with all of that. And
Yeah.
it's not even, they're just going to be clamoring at little things. And what about his two daughters? He does have two other children. So I get it, but it's still a form of an estate thing.
No, yes,
So
correct. Gary Johnson says, good morning, Philippine Antics. Sorry about what happened to Mark Thornton. I learned from his mistake. I wasn't taking my high blood pressure medication. Now I am and will religiously wake up call. Correct.
Nope, that's true. And here's another thing, guys. I'm a former smoker. It's been a long time. But hey, even if you cut back on a few cigarettes, it's a start. Everything is a start. Take your medication, drink more water, try to move on a daily basis. I would probably say a year ago, okay, the more that I move, the better that I feel. Now, it takes the steroids to do that, okay, due to multiple medical conditions. But I strive every day to do something different. I try not to eat the junk food. That's really hard, like the candy. So, sugar is my weakness. But I have cut back since Mexico. Remember, everything was sugar in Mexico. That was crazy. It was like, I was like, I only live once. I was on that YOLO thing. Remember the white cookie and cream Hershey bars? How many of those did we have, and how many were in the suitcase when I arrived? And I was worried about the food and in lockdown when we had to quarantine for those 10 days. I don't know. I had about 10. Even I took some over to you across the hallway. Them things were a lifesaver.
They were a lifesaver. Those were a
See,
lifesaver.
you ain't even kidding. So what I'm saying is, I ate way more food, way more sugar before I even entered the
Philippine
Philippines.
lockdown is hardcore, guys.
It was hardcore.
You can't leave your barangay. You're stuck there. It's really locked down.
Yeah, the Philippines was the last country to reopen for those that weren't here.
Yeah.
And when we came in, we had to quarantine in separate rooms. Can you believe, like 3 days after we were out, they were already in discussion. They then allowed whole families to quarantine together, but they used to make them pay for 2 separate rooms. And if you had 4 kids, I believe they said all 4 kids had to stay in the other family room. So they couldn't even split the kids up. Kids all had to stay in one room with one parent. And so those 10 days, George and me were separated and we had to pay the bill. So that was another, even though it was an inexpensive hotel,
Separate bills, yeah.
50,000 pesos?
Yeah.
Something like that. And it was like, I get it, but for a Philippine hotel that's now $20, you charge us $100? So it was crazy. And then we had to pay this fee and that fee. So anyways, you got to make some sort of changes. Again, right now, currently, the amount of food that George eats is way more than me, but I eat and drink the wrong things. I get it. It's a start. It's a start by taking your medication. Also, guys that are moving out to the middle of nowhere, someone made a comment about, you're not living the real Philippine life. You need to get out to the province. You really don't know what you're talking about, woman. I mean, they went into full details about being a white woman and not knowing anything as an American. I was like, next. It's not true. I'm not going out to the province. We live here in this area for a reason. It's the hospitals, it's being near the stores, it's being near the malls. I have to send George off to the first man wives club, the he man she hate women's club, when you join up with them expats wives and stuff and go shopping. We got to be near the mall. No? So no, you just have to be in the right position. Would you say location, location, location?
Yeah. And okay. That's what I was trying to get to. Okay. Location, 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 location. Part of the issue is location of Mark Thornton, where he was in relation
Okay.
to any medical services. This is a serious thing. Now, guys, ambulances here are not ambulances.
Oh yeah. You
Okay.
want to tell them about the ambulance thing for
Again,
him?
there's several levels of ambulances. You have your type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. Okay. But it's really easy here in the Philippines to distinguish which one's which. If an ambulance is parked at your barangay, forget it. It's not a freaking ambulance. It is called. It says ambulance on it. Don't get me wrong. It'll say ambulance on it, but it's technically classified as a medical transport, which is the most basic ambulance it is. But it's really just a medical transport. What does that mean, George? What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that
It
mean?
means if, for example, a tree fell and luckily it just gashed my arm. I have a laceration on my arm and I have to go to the hospital. Guess what? I'll be lucky if they have a band-aid on that ambulance.
Which, by the way, there were two issues when they went to go pick up Mark. Okay, I shouldn't have to say allegedly, but I will. Take this information as you will. Mark is 6'4", 6'5". I'm
Mhm.
6 foot tall. I'm plus size and wide. So first off, there may be an issue just with my size. It will when I become cremated, right? For Mark, he is too tall for the ambulance. I don't even want to know how it's not the ambulance you guys think. So I don't know how they got him in. I don't know if they could have set him up in the front seat as far as we
Well,
know.
no, he can fit in the back, but I don't think it's the height's the issue. I think it's the height and
They said
weight.
it was an issue, so I don't know
Well, either
how
way, I
and
mean,
so yeah, he's small but not small. I know, but also they said that it was a 20-minute ride and there was no oxygen in that one for
no,
sure.
of course
So,
not. It's a medical transport. There's
mhm.
nothing in that thing.
So it depends on your height and all of that. And a lot of people are in a disbelief that they're just going to send a helicopter out for people because they have insurance. A lot of people have put out videos over the years. Here comes a helicopter like they do out on Surigao. You guys know that doesn't that cost? I mean, I'm just going to take a wild guess. I thought they said it was like 40,000 US dollars for those pickups or 20.
Yeah,
And it's
they have them here. Yes.
right, but I'm telling you, it's not what actually
It's not what
people
you
are saying.
think. They're
Yeah.
not gonna send a helicopter just because.
And then some people ignore it all. There's a lot of things that I thought I knew, and a lot of it, although George told me, I'm gonna tell you right now, George told me, but talk about denial. I just like, okay, George, you know how you don't technically listen to your spouse about things? It's true. How many times has somebody said something and then finally old dog said something a few months ago and it's like, wow, that makes sense. And George is like, I've been saying that. And I'm like, it's just the way it goes sometimes with spouses. It's kind of the same thing about the Philippines. You guys can blindly see things on this channel and Geo's channel and other channels and our channel. And you guys see it and the truths that are out there, but nobody's listening. It's like nobody's home. Nobody's home.
Did you say something?
Yeah. Keep on. That's exactly why you're fired again this week. And you know what? It's a tragedy, and I could tell you right now, it can happen to anybody. You may need the ambulance. Even in this city, it'd take a while. It'd be easier for me to walk across the street. For those that know me with my lupus and my issues that caused my platelets to drop. What was that now? About 2 years ago, like when we first moved in here, and I just had a severe gush um, nosebleed. It would not stop. We had to get a hold of his doctor and at that point, I was refusing. George says, we're going to get a grab and we're going to go across the street. You can't walk over there, which I could have. The distance is shorter. But I said no because I didn't want to bleed in somebody's car. That's how
Actually, that's
bad it
another thing.
was.
They can deny you.
Yeah.
They can just say no.
They can deny you at the hospitals. Somebody said they were at a hospital recently here in Angel City, and they said when they showed up, they told them no.
Well,
I don't know if it was
what I'm
payment
saying is like
or
a Grab
the
or an
issue
Uber can deny
or
you because it's not a medical transport either. They can legally say no.
and it could be busy. You guys have no idea how some of these hospitals here get busy. There's a limited space in several of these hospitals here.
And you can be
It's
stuck in
not
triage
like
for
Sarasota Memorial in Florida.
Mhm.
It's just not going to be like that. It's
Yeah,
not
there
going to
for
be
hours. Literally. I'm not even
here. They're
joking.
just going to turn you around. Some of them sit right outside the hospital waiting to go inside.
Yeah, if
And it's
there's
not even
not enough room
pandemic.
inside, yes.
Right. You could be sitting out in the heat for hours with your medical conditions. Hence, when my arm was dislocated and I slipped outside because of the wet stairs, that I actually popped my own arm back in. When we went over to the Makati area, I went to St. Joseph's and got some
Luke's.
steroids. St. Luke's, I call it St. Joseph every time. and got the steroid injections, and that's still actually helping. The actual pills is helping with my arm. It's a hot mess, guys. So the whole thing is, can you actually deal with that? I mean, that was really bad. Them were the
Well,
two bad things I can think
and like I
about that
said,
were.
pay attention to the ambulances in your area. Look for a real ambulance. Try write down their phone number if you can. Here I'm not too worried about because there's literally real ambulances everywhere in this area. But there are certain areas where there's nothing at all, and your only choice is either you take the barangay, um,
White
medical
Samurai.
transport, although there says ambulance on it. And remember, if you live in an area where it can't be located on Google Maps, good luck on an ambulance finding you. Remember that. That's a very important thing to
That
remember.
is true. Izzy and Chris said our baby looked like a gremlin.
Aww.
Aww.
Gizmo.
That is what he wanted to call her, but I called her Mary because it was Christmas and I got her for Christmas.
Yeah,
So
that's
Mary as an
Heidi's one
Merrry.
of her Christmas presents. Yes.
Yeah.
Ken Beck says single child's benefits is 75%.
It is 75%.
Family max is 150 to 180.
Okay, so if his check was around 700, then okay. So
Luz says I'm currently retired with a minor child. She gets the equivalent of 71% of my monthly benefit until she's 18 and graduates from high school. Just my situation.
so wonder why it's 71%.
I
It could be a different country, or is there a percentage based on? So very interesting.
Yeah. Steven says I prayed for Jen today. Mark seemed like he suffered a lot in life. Here's another thing I do want
And
to
I
point
would
out.
agree.
Now, yes.
No, I just want to say, at the end of the day, and I did say this about what was going on with Elliot Eastman, but I had my limits to he put himself in that situation. He stayed down there, he did it, and all that. And no, we didn't know him personally either. It's just an observance from all the videos and problems he got in and how he lived his life, how the people talked about him in Dumaguete, how the people at Ground Zero said different things. And so the whole thing is like him that I do feel, for his wife and the baby. And I'm sure at some point that he did suffer. We all actually suffer. And that, I'm sure he did the best that he thought he was doing. Or, anyways, I'm not going to backpedal on that. He put himself in that
it's not
position.
backpedaling. And what I'm getting at is, the thing is, now there's some people again who are kind of not happy with him. Some, of course, some are happy with him. It's like everybody. Not everybody likes me. Not everybody hates me. That kind of deal. Now, what I'm getting at is
Everybody likes you.
there is again a point in time where somehow a light bulb turned on in Mark Thorns. If you watch his vlogs, all of a sudden he says, "Guys, take care of yourself.
He
Guys,
did
do
weirdly
this."
in the end, just
Okay,
like
there's like a
Elliot
light
did.
bulb all of a sudden turned on. Now, here's my theory, which is honestly in all probable happened. People do get what they're called the minor strokes.
They said that he
Okay,
probably did. His face looked weird
correct.
the last couple
Now
lives.
it's possible they had a minor stroke, not necessarily a stroke, but something of similar. What I'm saying is he could be in pain that nobody knew about. If that makes any sense. For example, the minor stroke could have caused him to have constant migraines and therefore make him a little bit ornery. What I'm saying is, we don't know his situation in that point of his life, nor do we know the person across from us. What I'm saying is, we have to have a little bit of compassion and understanding that we're not young anymore. Even young people still feel, crappy from time to time. But us older people have a tendency to have more aches and pains and real issues. So what I'm saying is, I think something happened to Mark that, again, somehow a light bulb turned on and he had a little bit of shift. Now that shift again made him again do certain things like, say certain things like, hey, guys, take care of yourself, do this, that kind of deal. And that's what I'm saying. For those of ones that, again, who are not happy with him, remember, you know, the guy must have been in pain that we don't know about. It's because,
Some have actually said, and I have to be fair on that part, that it could have happened before the ground zero thing.
well, yes, that's what I was trying
Now I
to.
just, it's not,
Now,
like the entire, but there are several other sources that said, nah, he's been like that before, after, and for a while, and that he was only looking out after himself. This is an alleged thing, and that he didn't know how to save money, and kind of just went on and on and on about him. But it could have been health issues that actually, I mean, not that I sit there and blame everything, but I've said it between my pain levels and between the steroids I'm on and the burst of energy I get and all the, stuff. Could be some of my health issues that cause it, but a lot of it, it's just me just being super forward. But I blame it on the steroids, but not today.
all
I'm
right,
in a good mood.
all right, Hulk Hogan.
That's okay. I mean, just be careful because things can happen, guys. You could be cleaning upstairs and sweeping down the stairs and have an accident and slip and
What's up with
fall
you and
at three
stairs?
o'clock. At 3 o'clock, and then there could be no ambulance that finds you because there's no sign hanging on the front of your house, so they're not able to find you, and you just end up in the field of dreams across the street.
Mrs. Mendoza, how did your husband fall from the stairs? Well, he slipped on a Hot Wheels toy because the cats play with the Hot Wheels. Yeah, yeah, that's it.
At 3 o'clock.
Um, Scott's World, hit that like button. Thanks so much, Scott. Slick Rick says, just did it, Scott's World. Thank you so much, Slick Rick. Smile and be happy. Thank you so much. Hey, Ben Wheezy, how you doing?
Wheezy.
Oh, I know, it's been a while. Ben Weezy says every time I see a YouTube Philippine channel in my front page, I always put don't recommend.
I mean, it went from
It's
a
already
couple of them.
annoying how many.
Well, here's the thing. They've been feeding us a bunch of them from the U.S. that are talking about the Philippines. They came here once or twice. Now they're over there. Those are the ones that I'm just going to say absolutely send me up the wall. I'm not a professional, and even though I don't get out a whole lot, I still know a hell of a lot more than these guys. And I still get out, guys. Okay. And the whole point is give me a freaking break. They're giving full advice on how to move to the Philippines. And that's okay. That's all right with them. That's okay, and if that's their bag, I wish George. I did put I put together some video that showed all the vloggers that have been saying they're sorry to hear about Mark passing away, and he was a good friend of mine, and I knew him through talking to him on chat and through his live streams, and he was such a good man and everything he did. And I'm like, dude, you didn't. It's like another one. But I was like, no, I'll spare you guys from watching some of them. But it's, I don't get it. I don't get it. But I guess again, people are like, oh, Heidi, people can do their channels and they can do whatever they want. And, you do and whatever. And that's fair play. But I get so tired of the ones being fed through the feed now that you
Well,
mentioned
I don't have a problem with YouTubers. I just have a problem with the YouTubers that say really wrong stuff, aka, oh, I live under $100. Like, no, you're a liar.
You can't actually sit over in the United States, only come here once, and a lot of the guys say, hey, I've only been there once, and then or they're outdated that haven't been here for years and years and years. It's the most recent that the Philippines in the last 2 years have substantially changed financially, infrastructure, like how things are working or updates, and it's dude, just do some knitting channel or something, or how to change your oil and how to change your ladies' oil and shaver at the same time. Figure something out.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, Sunshine put that crap out. He talked about those type of people. I don't get why it's the biggest genre of people that absolutely insist on the dream of the Philippines. Somebody said how the Philippines is paradise, and yes, it can be. And they're like, oh, well, he must have been in the right place. Talking about Mark Thornton. I'll have to go through the comments. Some of the statements about this had to be, the end of times, the best thing he could have done, and maybe compared to his other life, but I think at some point this wasn't exactly the highlight of his life either. He already had a baby before. You can't sit there and say, "Oh my God, I have a new child," and that's just
Oh,
everything.
thank you for bringing that up too.
I mean, he's already got kids and was married before. I mean, this is.
Well,
I don't know if
that's
I'd want to start
the-
over. I don't mind
the-
babysitting a kid or our god kids that we may get stuck with, and that we do take care. But I don't know about a kid.
the way I see it.
Next
As
thing you
far
know,
as
we got a
baby,
kid here all the
as far
time.
as Baby Rogan is concerned, okay, this is my take on it. I think that's probably the best thing that ever happened to him because
Ooh, snap!
no, I mean
Not the puppet thing.
no, I don't mean it that way. What I'm saying is that was probably the best thing that ever happened to him because guess what? He's gone now. I mean
That's true. He doesn't have to
that's a
sit around.
great joy. Great pride and joy. Healthy baby boy.
Oh, you mean like that was his true legacy? His
Yeah.
son?
Yeah.
That I might give him that was it. Now, I'm not going to go into the wet spot and the staring eyes thing.
No. What
Oh,
no. What I'm saying is while he was alive, at least he had probably one of the best experiences any man could ask for. That's what I'm getting at.
yeah. Somebody further in here said something about I have to find the comment. It's already passed, but it was in the mention about dating Jen or somewhere along the lines. It's come up several times about why would these guys come in afterwards. It happens. It's a proven fact all over the Philippines. Ever since the form of the internet,
Well, it's
and they're
just the
not sending a
Philippines.
letter.
They do it in the U.S.
They do it well.
They do it at the wake.
Well, they do it more so in Thailand and here. So I don't understand in the expat community, especially with the vloggers, when they see these vloggers and then they break up, whether it's a boyfriend or girlfriend, that they swoop in. I also don't understand the guys knowing it. Well, I know why they allow their girlfriends and wives to take in additional money and let them think they're courting somebody or leaving somebody. That's happened with several vloggers where they took in money where they believed a divorce was happening and the whole time they were together. So there's a lot of that, but Sunshine's called it out about those type of people too. They're just waiting in line. I'm still trying to figure it, but there will be. They in advance. It was out there in the open about how Jen's sister was paid for in advance, like money sent to the family. Guys were sending money to her to go to the family, and then in advance. It would not surprise me in any manner. And it will happen. She's young and it will happen. So there's no surprise. A lot of people like, you do know it's Jen, or you do know that she's not the pick of the litter, or she is, this or that. And I was like, I don't know. That part I will tell you, but I tell you, there will be somebody. There'll be somebody waiting for George too.
Sunshine Stroller says, I'd be stroking that. That's what I'm doing in my Clarence Carter voice. How do you do that?
I'm not Jen.
Oh, you can't say that. Okay. Dwayne McNatt. Sorry, McNatt.
I hear you.
Dwayne
Sunshine.
McNatt says, I had pneumonia for a week. Stay in hospital in Capiz was $1,000 about a month ago. I'll be sure to get something when I return back to the Philippines next July.
Here's the thing. Let me tell you what we did see. And I know one thing. There was a bill out there. Somebody came through and says, you guys don't know what you're talking about. It's not going to be several million pesos. It was only 85,000 pesos. And the first thing, George, you said was, on the price of what they said his hospital bill is.
No, that's
we
a lie.
have amounts that it actually, let me see if I can pull this up here.
Yeah.
I have an amount. I'll tell you guys here
Yeah.
what it is, but there's no possible way that would have been the cost, because there were guys just recently at the hospital that gave us amounts. So let me see.
Yeah, Paycheck Fat Prepper. Yes, I'm aware that again. David Carradine went out via
A very basic room.
I get that. It was a joke.
Is 50,000 pesos for every couple days, and he was in there 7 or 8 days. So with the ICU, with any oxygen alone, would have been somewhere during the stay of 400 to 500,000 in a range of, and that would be that at that point would be expected, because I'm sure there was other treatment. I cannot confirm that he was on life support. I can't confirm all the additional stuff. but we do know there was some treatments being done. So, and that the amount was a lot higher than that. So that, think about it, that even something like that, let's say what happened to them in the United States, the double bypass or a triple bypass, that's going to be in a high up range of a few million pesos for sure. I know when you have if you have a single bypass and all, and it just goes up from there. And then the recovery, medication, all this, they really start laying down the prices, and you have to start paying that stuff. So every hospital will work different here. But where does the average expat or Filipino come up with that money? I have no idea. So, all right, so it's 9 or 10,000, give or take, and that's if the bill was under the 500,000 pesos. So, unless you're them 10 percenters, I think all the rest of them fall under that to come up with random 10,000, 20,000. When me and George left Mexico, I was telling you that somebody had said something about how much to bring, and I was like, geez, do you even tell them 100,000 now? Because we had a little over 60,000, okay, plus multiple streams of income when we entered the Philippines. And that still was not enough, and it still would actually be a problem at this point. So then we furnished full apartment. There were some medical treatments for me. There was some family issues after the original the hurricane that came through Florida when the first year we were here with family. All kinds of things. Life again happens like it happens to everybody. Never claim to be rich, but there are guys that come here with zero, like Mark did. We understand. We took and seized an opportunity like a lot of people do. But the longer I'm here, and when Mark passed on, the biggest thing I got out of that is to get my shit together. The best I can, save as much as I can, make sure all of our credit cards are available for payment. It just makes you shuffle. So if there's one thing that the man did, I'm not going to sit here and give you those sad situations of, oh my God, what a great guy he was, and how can people pick on him, and this and that and this and that, and that's all there is to it. And that's what everybody's been doing, every single one of them. Okay, what can you say on top of that? Get your shit together, people. Get your shit together if you're here or coming.
Yeah, take your medications. Make sure your partner is not left stranded.
Or on the stairs at 3:00.
Gee, many crickets, woman. You and your stairs.
The whole point is that's truth.
It's like
That's what
or something.
I should have said more yesterday, but I still have a what do you call what do I call you? My my censorship bow here, or mare bow. That it's just where it is. People are putting this out with no side advice, and if that's what they want to do, if they want, I won't go through the different types of channels. We've talked about that. There are different levels, and
yeah. Joseph Keffert says everyone needs to keep an eye over on their Social Security account. They make mistakes. Yes, they do. Remember last year they mistakenly gave away too much money, and then all of a sudden they're like, "We want that money back."
yes.
Oh, thank goodness they didn't do it. Thank goodness they didn't.
And that's another thing. I've been talking to a lot of people on Social Security, so it does make me a little different, or us a little different as far as a channel. Almost on a daily basis, we're in some sort of email, video, or trying to help somebody about some sort of mess they're in here or somewhere else. And Social Security will be really tricky, guys. It is going to be really tricky. And I'm on disability. Okay. So for the next, almost another 9 years until it switches over. Okay. It's a whole different level for some people that are under a certain age that's collecting disability. And there are guys that have rolled the dice that moved over here on disability. Some don't have, they have the Social Security low income, which means they shouldn't be here at all. Then there's the legal one like me that's allowed to be here. And then you have the point where they may call you in to be re-examined unless you have that final letter of disability. Severe disability that's been proven and won't change, or your terminal, gets you those type of letters. Okay. So in a case like that, I don't have to worry about going in all of a sudden to Social Security just to do an exam. And I can't even tell you how that's even done at some point, but somebody says that some have been told they had to go back to the US. I heard other people say that they'll do it at,
Cebu?
no, what's the hospital in Makati? I never get that wrong. St. Joseph's? St. Anne's?
Luke.
St. Anne's. Okay. So you may have to go there. I don't know if they'll let you go on over to the VA to prove it. And that's a whole nother thing about the VA. But guys, there's a lot you're dealing with, the bank accounts. And, I've been dealing with this stuff for years, replacements of credit cards to the bank accounts for my disability. And officially, guys, I finally did it. We have the bank account for direct deposit now here in the Philippines for my Social Security because I wasn't going to deal anymore with a bad credit card or having a new one sent. It's been almost 4 years. You could fight with that too. It's from experience. So
Yeah.
a lot going on.
TJ Riley says, okay, this is a little straightforward. TJ Riley says there's already a lot of other single mothers in
Oh,
the
snap.
Philippines. No big deal. Now there's another one more.
Hey, Jen, next.
Whoa.
Sorry, it is true. I mean, it looks like she's on the defense too. Hi,
Tony
Jen.
Manning says, give me some nice women at a funeral. The
There
best
it is.
places to meet a woman again is family funerals and family reunions. Anyway,
George,
what?
you know about the Single Mothers Club, and you better be staying away from them women when you're at the mall. I can cut that salary off, and you can just stop going to the mall.
It's kind of weird. Women can like single mothers can always sniff me out. It's kind of weird, but
No, it's not exactly weird. You're a pet lover, and you attract the strays and the cats and single mothers.
I do.
Because you play with them and you play with the kids, and you shouldn't be
I play
doing
with a
that.
lot of things.
Pipe it down there, regular guy.
Wait, what?
Next thing you know, next live on Saturday, the pickle toucher drawer.
If he has 2 legs, it's fair game. That's old
Or
enough.
fur.
That's old enough.
Pickle fur baby pickle
I do
touchers.
count dog ears too. I was like, okay, is he old enough?
Dun, dun, dun. Today on People's Court.
There's nothing I can say at that point would sound
George
right.
shaved
But anyway,
George shaved that animal and did something to his ears.
I didn't shave the dog.
I'm talking about making a case about People's Court.
Oh,
Dun,
anyway.
dun. Oh man. Okay. It's just weird.
Roy Estrada says, hey, I really like how you keep it real. You give us facts about Mark Thor in passing. Your biggest challenge is George.
Sometimes we're both each other's challenges, but we still together. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's been ups and downs, but that's what marriage is. I feel the ones that give up and split and they just didn't try.
Dang, Bobby G, that's a little rough there. Bobby G says, George and Heidi, it's because she never really loved him in the head over. Oh, okay, in a head over heels. Well, head over heels. Torete. Here they call it torete.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, be real.
why it's so easy to move on from one to the next, but not from one true real love.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if we had to do a poll on people in the room, did you guys really think she was going to pay the hospital bill? Or it was going to get paid by somebody? I don't know. There was a lot of people that talked that he told her, and he said it in his own live, to not pay it. He told her the advice to just leave me at the hospital. Now, whether it was a joke or not, or whether it's really done, it could be a real thing. But here's the thing. If she'd have left him and not paid the bill, then she would have been looking at no death certificate. So did she do it to make sure that she could go ahead and get the check? Well, sure. But this head over heel thing, I mean, these are all just truths.
She could have been.
I don't know.
We don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, torete, as they say.
You do know the circumstance around quite a few of those expats' lives over there in Filipinas being hooked up for their families with these expats and all this other stuff, right? Sure, maybe it's
I'm
like when they're
aware of
arranged
certain
marriages.
cultural things
Yeah,
in certain areas, but
it could be about the same thing.
you know, but there's some that still fall in love and everything else.
Yeah, there's arranged marriages where they fall in love.
Yeah, always me says Gio needs a new one anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
And they might be. I'm not saying that it doesn't, and they could have been. But anybody who has watched, never mind. I'm not even going to go in and try. People know. Either you know or you don't. That's all I'm going to say.
Mr. Anderson. Okay. David Anderson says, if you have medical conditions and you're old, your time will come
Yep.
in life. If you are in the Philippines or anywhere, enjoy life to the fullest. And I'm not wasting my time starting a YouTube channel.
God,
Again, I
there's
do
so
not
many of
recommend
them.
doing it.
I just seen one that claimed he had the money, and then he just did a channel, and him and his Filipino wife were sitting there talking about, oh, definitely be sure to like and subscribe and share because I need the money for the channel. I'm like, okay, at least I guess this guy was being forward about it, but now you're going to spend your time doing a video 2 and 3 times a day, which sometimes this person does. And it's like, yeah, you definitely did. We pulled back the reins a long time ago on the channel. We had a video every day and 4 lives a week. What, about a year and a half ago? So now it's just, hey,
Chosen One says, I'm indifferent.
but do something with the channel for Christ's sake.
I didn't like nor hate Mark.
Ooh.
I rarely watch his videos, but leaving that baby with a bunch of beanie babies is foul.
Could you see her carrying that box of Beanie Babies down the stairs out of that attic house of theirs?
Oh my gosh, she's probably not happy about that box, to be honest with you.
You guys, I suggest you go watch that video. That way it pays that estate a little bit more because the look on her face when she opened that up, she's like,
when
babe, show me that face.
Okay, when Filipinos open a balikbayan box, they expect what's always in a balikbayan box: shoes,
Not a garage
clothes,
sale. Not a garage sale.
Spam. We have, the stuff that Filipinos always send.
Filipino expectations. I get it.
Yeah.
Maybe some
realistic
pineapple
expectations.
in a can,
you send
microwave popcorn.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Thank you.
Toothbrushes, some good crust, some mashed potatoes, some
peanuts,
stuffing,
walnuts,
pumpkin beans. It's inexpensive, guys. We're looking
mashed
for our
potatoes.
We're looking for our next sponsor of our Billy Buying Box. Take notes.
Towels. Yeah, well, basically, this is what comes to Filipinos when they
send
open
to
a
PO
box.
Box 3465. Okay, Mabalacat City. Okay, Philippines. Care of Mr. George here.
Right. So when Jen opened that box, of course she's gonna be heartbroken.
Sale.
I mean,
garage sale city. When the lights.
And I bet you she didn't know what was coming, and he didn't warn her. Like, hey, just so you know, Jen, it's just gonna be this that's gonna be in there. Don't expect anything of this.
No,
I'm sure he didn't say that.
No, she opened those boxes, and then he made her wait. He
So
spread them out.
She's like,
now
excited, you know what I mean?
Right? But either what you would have done or I would have done. You guys think that George listened to me all the time, or vice versa? No, George would have opened all those boxes that we wouldn't have waited. I wouldn't have waited. Would you have waited if I said, "Listen, we need this for content. Don't touch those boxes"?
I would have waited. I do.
You really would have waited?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Okay. Well, maybe he would. I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know George.
Yeah.
I don't know squat. I'm sorry. That's for content. You could have done something else. You could have done another live stream and talked about World Zoom.
Oh.
His mortal enemy.
What? Oh, right. Sorry, never mind. I keep forgetting that.
Oh, it just
because he's out of the game.
It just wasn't that. He got all blown up about he being called out about a child bride and all of this. But here's the thing I realize now. When one vlogger says something, usually it's not directed at one person. It's multiple people. You will find it applies to about 20 other channels. And he really went on the offense. And then after that, then they did go back and forth. So I think the initial video really wasn't for him. But
yeah, well,
and now here's the thing. Here it is Christmas time and New Year's, and neither of them have a channel. Would you like to
Well,
tell me why?
Worlds in might pop back in.
Maybe. Would you like to tell me? Should I tell you what the rumor is about him?
World Zoom.
Yes. I can't say what happened.
So
I can't say what happened in his mommy's basement.
Tony says Mark was working on his autobiography called Secrets to Success. Oh, now just so you guys know, Mark did publish a book.
I think it was multiple books, but here's the thing.
So
that was one of the things that he gave her was a copy of his book. But here's the thing. All that's got to be, that's going to, that's another amount of money that goes into the bank account. Let's say he's making $4 a month on these books. When it does happen like that, you guys think it's a joke. You guys think all YouTubers make money, all book writers make. No, that's it. Either making big cash or you're actually not. That's another thing she's going to have to fight in the estate. And she's going to have to fight with those 2 daughters of his in the UK. And the first wife might have dibs on thing. As a matter of fact, well, wait a minute. You know what? His wife would have access. She's moved to the UK, but she still gets a hold of his pension because, yeah, there's a lot going on unless she remarried. And I think some of that does make a difference. I don't know. Yeah, I think when you remarry, it must. So there's going to be dibs on the entire estate. It's, I mean, I don't know how you divide $8 4 ways or 6 ways.
Wow. Wow.
Or how do you divide a peso 8 ways? Do you know how?
Oh.
Buy him Jollibees.
You can't even buy Jollibees for a peso. There's nothing in Jollibees that's peso.
The whole thing is that somebody got something. Work with me, master. Grasshopper.
Can't even get like a little piece of candy for a
serious?
Peso. Why'd you dip that in there?
Because I didn't do it.
She dipped her pencil into her coffee.
Actually, I thought it was one of my
pencil holders. Mugs. Yeah. Tony Gurria says Elon Musk will take over Mark's luxury cruise company and continue its success.
Yeah.
What are you?
Oh,
I know. A lot. Yeah. Now, Stuart Log is okay. Now, in all fairness, some of you may again, I'm not dissing Mark, but what did Mark do for everyone to be dissing? There was currently the most current thing that happened. There was
that's out there. Yeah.
Yes, it's out there. Actually, even Mark actually confessed to the event. So
yes, he put his own.
He said it several times, but anyway, point being is he had a physical altercation with another expat, and that's what happened. That's why there's a lot of people against
and
Mark.
With other vloggers on
now
off on air.
There's a lot of witnesses and there's a lot of footage.
Stuff. When he did interviews, most of those guys were vloggers.
Right.
He didn't follow through with helping. He just lied to them. Also, allegedly, there was promised payments that he didn't pay through. He paid for his interviews and all kinds of stuff out there.
Be aware, there's
when he went to restaurants, there were problems. We could probably go on for days and put out what's out there and what'll be accepted, what's denied, or what really did happen. But there are some insiders and Filipinos that said some of this stuff was real. So
yeah, and remember, there's always there's people that are pro Mark and there's anti Mark. So there's there's a good division of crowd there. So just so you guys know.
Are you serious right now?
What's that? Oh, thanks, Google. All right. Anyway.
Thanks, Google.
Oh, snap. And you guys are hilarious. Elliot says life goes on as it should. Sperlin Edwards checking from Lipata. How you doing?
Is that them just going back and forth?
Easy and Chris says VA disability should be coming out of this Friday for those who have early deposits. COLA will be reflected on their payment.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Cindy G. How you doing? Happy to see you
Good
both. Happy to see you,
morning.
Cindy G.
And we'll be doing a live. George has to work later today. We have the family Christmas Eve. Everything starts tomorrow. It's Buenos Noches or lunch with Santa and Bueno Dias. And that's when people start eating at midnight. All I'm going to hear is mint chocolate chip ice cream. And I'm just going to sit there and watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty. And I'm going to watch The Grinch and Noches Buenas to you, boy. No? Buenos Dias? Buenos Dias lunch snack?
Hmm.
No, so anyways, it's starting, what is it, around midnight?
Buenas tardes.
Darte Duenas.
Buenas tardes.
Datas Duadas.
Oh, that's good afternoon.
Oh, good.
Anyway,
Duadas Datas, good afternoon.
Tony Manning says,
Real name.
one thing I don't like about Mark. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of people who are guilty of this because it's human nature.
Oh,
so
we're not getting the real comments are actually on our channel. I plan to go through a few
All
of
right.
them before we wrap this up.
I didn't like about Mark was whenever he interviewed anybody, he always one-upped them. He was a one-upper and always did everything they had done. Now, again, keep in mind, it's human nature to do this. It's a skill not to, because a lot of people want to connect. Hey, I did that too. You know, not necessarily because they want to one-up them, but some people just want to connect and they just don't know how.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're one-upping him. I'm not saying that that's what Mark or not
No,
do,
during
but
his
what I'm saying
interviews, babe,
is,
he did do that. If
No,
somebody
I get
said
it.
they've
I
been
get
to
it.
8 countries, it's like, well, I have been too, but I've been, and every time somebody said something, and recently when he was just doing the recent interviews and the video that we just showed of Mark in this last one and during the live's previous one, he actually went through all this. Nobody cares about your job. And this is part of my inspiration today and making that video yesterday. He said it his own eulogy. Nobody cares about your jobs. Nobody cares about your past. Your kids grow up. They're, and this is just a roundabout what he
No,
said.
nobody.
Nobody cares, and nobody
Nobody.
cares now. I get it that people are putting that out, but are you willing to go all the way in? And it's just like, and I think the ones, let's say it was that 10%er couple channel or another few channels that paid his hospital bills. More than likely, it was because that's where they got their start from, and they were just sucking tail at that point. I don't know. Let me read some of the comments that have been coming in. Many videos have been commenting on the life of Mark Thornton. Sadly, next week he will definitely be forgotten. There it is. Sorry to hear about Mark's passing. I really liked his videos. He seemed to be genuine and he gave really good advice. He'll be missed. What do you think about the good advice there, George?
Well, he did give a few gems here and there.
Yeah. My personal opinion is do not have a child after the age of 50 here, and have it at 50 only, but then after that you need to be in good shape. He will need you when he is 18. My daughter is 25 and I still love to interact with her financially and otherwise. It matters. Yes, it makes sense. That would be. Here's the thing. I've talked about this and I'm probably going to say it again. And I've said it to somebody recently. These guys, if they do have children, it's usually their wives that are taking care of them and all that. So I'm sure that he helped, but most of it probably fell on Jen's shoulder. But then financially and helping is probably something that a lot of the fathers aren't doing. I'm not saying that some of them weren't, but it's really rough all the way around to have kids at a certain age. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna jump to because usually people say the nastiest stuff when it actually gets held. So let me jump into that part because a lot of people are, let's see.
Oh, interesting.
Let me get into the comments here. Okay, this is directed at Jen, and I'll read it. I'm your new subscriber, and yes, you're right. I bet. I'm a new subscriber, and you're right. Some YouTubers are really fake. Me and my husband have lists here, the vloggers that we like. Mark is one of them. And my husband is an avid fan. Every time he watches the vlog, especially the vlog of his wife, where he message Mark, tell them that the wife is asking bad questions because my hubby knows that Jen is so naive because she only a new vlogger. How many? It's kind of weird. I'm assuming this is either somebody foreign or a Filipino, the way it's written. I know how Jen feels right now because husband also passed away here in the Philippines, but he didn't leave me poor. So Jen needs to be strong.
Oh, there you go.
So the next person, and I don't know why it got held, Cindy Gordon said, no one cares. So, well, that's about
Dang.
sounds like
Wow.
sounds like when I heard Robin Williams on that one movie says nobody cares.
But hey, again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah. So let's see. God bless Mark and his family. That's all that we need to say. You're a troll and also listen to you. Yes, and next. So you're right.
Good afternoon.
Love you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Doesn't change that the next person in line could be me, could be you. If I save one person, if George saves one person that stops smoking 3 cigarettes and an
I'm
aspirin,
going to tell you that right now.
no, I'm going to tell you right now, I've got enough steroids in me to last a year. Now, I might wobble around because bad knees and weak because of my lupus, but no. The women in my family are not the healthiest, but they're stubborn. I will crawl around.
Yeah.
And so I take enough care, except for my plus size. And there's still, and I'm actually working on that. So thank you for those that have asked about my weight loss, because yes, I am losing weight. The steroids are a little deceptive with the Cushing's disease. So basically, my face is swollen like all get out.
Yes, and Heidi walks funny for different reasons.
Yes. Bow, 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 bow. Let me sing you a Christmas song. Here's the next one. He did it to himself. Yep. Next. Let's see. We had let's see. Oh, somebody's talking about the earthquake. So let's see. Yeah, by the way, they did have some earthquakes. They're talking about a partial tsunami or a tsunami coming through central Luzon and Ilocos. You think that'll happen? Is that going to just cause flooding or?
It happens all the time, but not like what you think in movies. Yeah, I mean, it's not one of those that, like what happened in Thailand a few years ago where.
Oh, I
No,
take that back. That was
it does happen to the Philippines, though. Yes.
That was somebody saying he did it to himself, ma'am. What WTF? Yeah, actually he did. When you stop your medication, next troll account. So, I mean, give me a break. These people create an account just to come in because they're hiding vloggers or they're just hiding. They create an account to come in and say that when they, it's a trip. What do you mean? Yes, he did do it to himself. The same as I said Elliot Eastman. The guy returned multiple times and did all those things in the end. And no matter what caused it, now there's about 5 different things that it possibly could have been. Here's the deal. He did cause it himself. He lived in an area that had insufficient ability to get to a hospital. Okay. His health issues, no, he wasn't really taking the proper medication and probably the proper steps. So yes. And I'm going to tell you what, you guys, if something happens to me in a couple days, or if I do pass away, I expect exactly the same thing. And I expect you to say to George that Heidi did it to herself. And if George denies it, keep him on track, because let's see.
That would be a game changer. I know the spouse, but
There's a few people now. It could be wrong according to the people,
Okay,
but
now,
it could be PH Prepper. I was
yeah,
wondering, being their
yeah,
marriage has only been, I think we said they've only been together 2 or 3
yeah. The
years.
beneficiary must have resided in the United States for at least 5 years for as a spouse. Yes, that we're aware of.
But does that
Surviving spouse, child, parent of the deceased, the 5 years do not need to be consecutive. It does mention child there.
okay, so she won't get any benefits, but
No,
the
we know
5
that.
years do not need to be consecutive. But here's the thing. What about him living on a permanent basis outside the US? Because he's been here about that long. Don't they say also there's something else about him needing to be in the US? I don't know.
Yeah.
That too, but yeah.
Let's see.
Hey, Bobby G, happy holiday. But yeah, I mean, but I know that people here are getting the checks. I just heard that when it comes to them, that it's, well, look at Monty
Says
Crew.
this is for non-U.S. citizen survivors.
Yeah, she won't get a check. That is
No,
for
I know
sure.
that. Yeah.
The child will, but I thought they weren't even with the full birth. I don't know. I don't know anymore. They say that he's fully registered, so now she has to go in and do the whole Social Security thing. That's going to be the test because currently Monty Crew has
2
a
months.
daughter.
Says my daughter. It took 2 months. My daughter had her U.S. certificate, birth abroad, and her passport before she was 3 months. It took another month to get her Social Security card and another month to get her child benefit process. So it's about 3 months, I guess.
I wonder why Monty's is so delayed.
Yeah.
So there must be some missing paper. So it's going to be a couple months. So 3, 4 months. Really? Go ahead.
Jim Sullivan says, Mark timed the loser's night turned. Although it says
Right.
timed, I think it said meant turned. Turned the loser's nightmare into a dream. He escaped homelessness in the United States, arrived in the Philippines, broke, and several years later, he was living on the beach with a beautiful wife and baby. Oh, hey Victoria, how you doing? Oh, right, it's really cold in the west right now.
Oh, geez.
40 degrees centigrade here today in my port, Western Australia. Wishing everyone a lovely Christmas. Enjoy, stay safe, caring, and humble. Yes. Yes, actually, in where my family is in the United States, they're 40 degrees.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 We'll pick another random one out so we know we're not discriminating here. Wow, call me crazy, but you seem like one of those crazy expats that are talking crap about him. Really haven't heard you say anything nice about him. I think you're in it for the views. Absolutely. You're so right, Kenny, the silver jewelry guy YouTuber. That's exactly why we're in it, for the actual views.
And so are you. Jim Sullivan says 2 for the
And I've said
child.
plenty of nice things about Mark. Plenty of things.
Yeah. Jim says 2 for the child.
To what?
I think he meant 2 years. Well,
Well, no. What it is, they copied and pasted. That's number 2, number 3.
oh, for the child. Okay.
Yeah, no. No, I mean, 75%, yeah. And that's another thing. Somebody dropped at 21 and that they were still in college. No, as I'm to understand, I don't think the college rule applies anymore. It might, but I don't think it does. I think it's 18 or 19. I think it stops at high school. It doesn't put them through college. Social Security benefits.
Yeah.
So
Well, and not to mention, Hank says with Trump in office, it will be harder for a wife to get money. Also, because of the holiday, it will be a slight delay, especially in the Philippines. Holidays are holidays.
we have a comment that may he rest in peace. Somebody's wanting to know, what do you call high blood pressure? I don't know. Ask Mark. Okay, it's not in this household. What are the numbers? Told him to Google it. Let's see, when I arrived in Manila in July the first time and had an experience as an expat. Oh, when I came in July, there was an experienced expat that told me not to tell anything about your life to anyone. Best advice I've received in a long time. which is true. We advise that some of the most toxic people won't become, or some of the people that are like nasty are going to be Filipinos. It's going to be other expats here. And sometimes you do have to watch who you connect with. There's a lot of backstabbing expats in Dumaguete and Angel City. It's a lot of backbiting here. And they'll be nice in your face and then turn around and move on to the next person. It's about who they can borrow money from, who they can con, who they can get over on. And people have the grand illusion of friendship here, YouTube or not. So a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a YouTube thing or it's all that. No, just a lot of them don't talk about it. And it's just actually where it is. So yes, that's why people choose to stay out of YouTube. That's why people choose to do otherwise. We've chose to do the YouTube channel even if it helps the next person, not over the $300 a month that comes in for the channel. And so you got to be a tough cookie to be in the game. Has there been ups and downs or things that have bothered us? Yes, but we're still going to be in this game, and we're going to be in this game a long time. So it's actually where it
Yeah.
is. If we can help even one person.
Hey, babe, can you collect my 2,000
For what? 2,000 for what?
from the corner?
No, they can keep it. You giving it away. You give everything away.
Remember when somebody
Oh,
borrows
he's
money
been
from
he
you?
loaned money out
When
recently.
somebody borrows money from you,
You can
it's
forget it. It's a gift.
it's a gift. It's not
Yeah,
a loan.
especially
It's
near
a
the
gift.
holiday.
Yeah.
Do not forget Mark, and let's buy a cruise liner adventure. No snap. Paul in the Philippines lost a lot of money trusting that expat. But rest in peace, Mark, whatever that means. So we're hearing all kinds of things, but I was told that it's not Paul. They said it can be referenced to Paul, old dog, and then some of the references is Paul, World Zoom. So there's kind of people don't specify, but they're all here to be seen. I've been watching, and a lot of these for some reason are in caps. I don't know why. I don't know why people
Well,
are always doing it.
some people.
I've been watching Mark's channel for a long time, and I've always enjoyed his views on life. Okay. To me, he was a wonderful person, and I'm not sure why so many people are saying such bad things about him. Mark has passed away and passed on. May his soul rest in peace. In time, we're all going to pass away. So true. I think that his wife was young, and his son will be doing just fine. He wishes them all the best. I agree. Yes. I see other people, I can see other YouTubers saying similar stuff about you upon your demise and how you ate yourself to death. You're right. You got me. That's what you got.
Well,
That I'm going to eat myself to death. So, could be. Could be, and already said that and accepted that. So, and I'm going to enjoy that. And there's another one, and no one cares.
oh really?
Yeah, there was another one.
Oh. Laura says, "Hi, Heidi and George. Seems like Social Security is not growing, which is kind of weird because, like Laura stated, since our population is aging, that laws may have changed regarding children and marriages and other. It may change. There's a chance it'll change.
And it rarely happens in the US. Do you know how often a man over the age of 62 has a kid? And not very often. Matter of fact, I think it rarely happens. What is that, the 1% team? Quarter of a percent team? I mean, it just doesn't happen. Most couples are couples when they hit the retirement stage. They either were previously married or their new girlfriend. If they're living as a couple in a house or they're living single or their spouse passed away, they don't go on having kids in the US. It's only here because they come in and get a good lease on life, they find love, they have a kid. It does happen, and happiness can happen. I think it's a crapshoot sometimes on, how things turn out. You guys don't always hear how bad things turn, how, savings are taken, how how many expats are homeless over here that their woman just took everything? I know of 3 at least, where their woman conned them out of everything, married and everything, and how things just gone south. They lose access to their Social Security, and then they're out on the street. So I mean, it's nice that these guys can get a whole new situation going on, but they really need to make sure they have some solid plans on all corners of this coming to the Philippines things. Their relationship, you know. But I'm telling you, that Social Security and baby thing does not happen too often. Not in the United States, but here it happens quite often. When they had that thing to set up birth certificates and all that for their babies and the registration, there were lines literally outside up the stairs. How many people would you say was at ground zero a couple settings ago with the embassy there?
Easy 20 on the line.
Okay, but there were a bunch standing outside. There were a bunch said the tables were all full at ground zero. So altogether, inside and out, I'd have to say there was probably 70 guys in and out. There was an upstairs full of people too. Yeah, so that just doesn't happen. And, you know, they should get their benefits for what they've actually paid in. I 100% agree on that one.
Yeah. Gary Johnson says Mark Thornton was a cherished YouTuber whose warmth, creativity, and authenticity resonated deeply with his audience. His videos not only brought joy and inspiration, but also reflected his deep love. Joseph Kevert says the payment is retroactive from the time they applied as far as benefits.
Yes, of course there is. That's on disability for anybody. And yes, she'll get a lump payment. That's everybody.
Yeah, but Jen will still wait a while.
But that's from when she applies for the Social Security and has all the paperwork, including the death certificates and all the things applying, and whether it's death, whether it's just basic benefits. You know, that is the most inspirational comment that I've heard about Mark. I'm sorry, that's a true fan 100% there. Because Mark has done all types of content, positive, negative, and that's I don't know. Is that sarcasm?
No, he's not. No, it's not sarcasm. Dave says,
I mean, I really mean that. There's nobody out there that's all of that, and so that must have been I could see if that statement came out about the Filipina P.
Well, actually, that's probably Mark.
That's what I'm saying. Only Mark. Sorry, you guys can bite me on all that one. That's just, I mean, I guess I'm just too real on that being all the truth.
That's Mark alive.
Well, because that's what I've been saying. This stuff is fake. And this guy making this statement, there's no way 100% all that is true.
Well, I didn't say that. I'm just joking that Mark's alive. But anyway.
It's got it. So you didn't get no weird vibe when you read that? But yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I did. I actually did, and not in a bad way. It just kind of.
I think I just turned another shade of white.
No. It was just kind of spooky to me. Not.
It's like he wrote his own eulogy thing.
Right, that's what I meant. It's kind of spooky. Not.
And that would tell me that somebody that has not met him really watched all this stuff. Sorry.
I disagree. I mean, some people really feel that
hardcore.
way.
Okay, that's hardcore.
Like I said, you have pros, you have pro Marks, and you have anti, and there you have neutral people.
He had falling out with all kinds of expats, and even if you know that, there was no reason that Dexter deserved any of that beating he got.
Oh,
and that himself would make half of that invalid, and it doesn't matter.
And I agree.
They're trying to.
Nobody deserves that.
That was bad. He tried to gouge his eyes out. And they can say it was a stroke. They can say that it was this or that. There was something really going on. And Mark has put his own full history out there about his life when he lived in the U.S. There are further interviews where he talked about even more things that he did as a young guy. His history isn't the cleanest either. So, but I mean, like I said, that sounded like somebody wow.
All Dave says again.
I call that expat simplifying.
Check out Mark's interview on American Christian in Philippines. Title is "How Old is Too Old to Start a Family?" About 6 months ago. Spooky conversation giving this.
Timing. He did 2 months ago on his channel. He did go into, hey, get your health together and all that. It was a full thing that was on that interview. Yes. Yeah. It's 2 hours. Second win, usually, technically, we do almost 3-hour live streams, but yes, 2 hours. We usually about ready to wrap it up. So there's an outing today too. Oh, you're right, Mr. Sullivan. And I had exactly the one to do it. None of us are perfect. I'm just not going to sit around and pretend like his life was all of that either. And then, Mark gave out good advice and bad advice like we all did. It was not all roses. So, you guys, it's just where it is.
We're about to bug out, and as much as I would love to continue this conversation when it's somewhat a little off topic,
And we'll probably have
Right.
an update in January after there's
yes, there
another
will be an
court
update
hearing.
regarding that situation, but that now is not the time to get into it. so to
Right,
speak.
correct. So as I'm to understand, per that team over there, they will be moving forward with the January hearing. Being deceased does not cause this case to actually drop. He can still move forward with the case. So that's all I know is the answer is that looks like that's what he's going to do, unless the mind is changed of Team Dexter and Dexter's attorneys. Right now, they will still go to court. So dismissal of a crime and what's attached to his estate and all that will continue. So
Yeah,
Yep.
and like I said, it's not the time and place. But
yeah,
yes, thank
so
you
I'm
so much,
sure,
guys. Appreciate you so much.
what was the statement about Paul and Mark and all
Oh,
that?
nothing. It's just somebody's they kept repeating that the entire life, just so you know.
I'm referring to talent, creative content, and delivery.
They kept repeating it.
No,
So,
I would agree that there are some actually good vloggers. Yep, we never
Yeah.
denied it's some of the top people that we've watched. So
Tony Manning says Dexter's going to get a lot of Beanie Babies.
actually, he said he already asked for it. And that's going to put him at that top 10 percenters, just like that odd
Oh my
couple
gosh.
that sits up
You
on
guys
the
ain't
hill.
right. You guys ain't right.
Let me have my moment. The 10 percenters that sit oddly up on a hill with their little swimming pool and their little house and his perfect little wife and his perfect little life. And they're so funny and hilarious. They can just get the Beanie Bear collection.
Laura was like,
He can live
"What
his
Beanie
perfect
Babies?"
life. Dexter, I hope you enjoy those
Laura
Beanie
wants her
Babies.
cut. Laura wants her cut.
No, you ain't getting none either.
Dexter's got dibs, Laura.
I already sent Jen some money for those. They are already on their way to us.
Oh dang!
You guys can actually
Dang.
now you know what you're getting for Christmas. You guys can
I
contribute
guess
to
that would be
George's.
legal before legal proceedings, maybe.
Technically, even I think within the house, you're not supposed to sell, give, or do anything until they figure all that out. But I doubt that's how that happens here. As I'm to understand, no insurance, no life insurance, no will, no nothing of the estate. She doesn't even have a password. Maybe. So I don't know. So, but anyways,
Yeah.
time's up.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, Scott, of course, for being with us, our moderator. Thank you so much, Victoria.
Yes.
Um,
Most definitely.
Bruce
Yes,
Davis.
and Rogan definitely has family, as his
Second one.
grandmother and uncle.
Thank
as
you,
I'm to understand, it's
Jim, for being
multiple
a
brothers.
new visitor or guest, and hopefully you'll come back soon.
Thank you guys for joining our live stream.
Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you so
to
much.
our members. We had Bruce Davis. We had Scott in the house. Thank you, Chosen One, for the sticker. Michael Onstad.
Yes, Chosen One. Thanks so much, Michael Onstad. Yes.
Sunshine Shoulders.
Calvin, of
Thank
course.
you. In the
Yeah,
house.
Big shout out to Sunshine. Yes, thanks so much.
let's
We will be doing
see.
a Christmas live or a Christmas Eve live, as
For
it
you
were,
guys.
for you guys. So we will see you then. But however, for those of you who won't be able to see us, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
If you guys don't send me my Christmas, I ain't saying nothing. So don't even talk to me. Don't even talk to me, you cheapskates. I'm just gonna outright
Jim
dry
Philbin,
eBay.
Great show. Second one says bye.
If you guys just point out what lady you guys want photos of here, I'll send them to you.
Yeah, you'll see us second window on Christmas. All right.
Thanks,
Love you
guys.
all
Bye.
and be safe.
If you guys don't come back again, say lovey.
Stay lovely. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.